My goodness. Yeah. Let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because reports from Radar Online are saying that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are now set to sue President Donald Trump. And as far as I'm concerned, this is legal suicide. If they go up against President Donald Trump, I'm telling you right now, they are going to lose big time, okay? Or as President Donald Trump would say, bigly. Now, the reports are coming in saying that Prince Harry in particular is considering options on what to do with President Donald Trump. Royal commentators have urged the prince to wade into battle against the US president to claim damages for tarnishing their reputation after he branded Meghan Markle terrible, RadarOnline.com can reveal. Now, these royal commentators, as far as I'm concerned, whoever they are, can kiss my backside. It's absolutely insane if any of them are trying to urge Prince Harry to sue President Donald Trump over the comments he made calling Megxie terrible. I mean, come the frick on. That ain't the worst thing that's been said about Megxie out here. It really, really is not. If they are so butthurt over President Donald Trump calling Megxie terrible, then why haven't they sued, I don't know, let's say Family Guy or South Park or any of the A-list celebrities out there that have actually spoken out against Megxie and said and insinuated far worse things than President Donald Trump turning around and saying that Megxie's terrible? If Prince Harry and Megxie go against President Donald Trump in court and try and sue him, it is legal suicide to the maximum. Now, this report comes round and said that Ingrid Stewart is quoted as saying, when I could get my teeth back in, I think that a huge number of people were probably smirking and agreeing with Donald Trump. I was one of them. It was an incredible, hurtful thing to say, terrible. I know what he meant, and we possibly all agree with him, but to say it publicly like that is very hurtful. Yeah, it's a hurtful thing to say, but doesn't make it any less true. She is a terrible person as far as I'm concerned, as far as a lot of you people out there are concerned that are watching right now. Ingrid Stewart then turns around and says, I wonder if Meghan and Harry might have some comeback for that legally. No. America has something that the UK wishes we have, which is the First Amendment. So, no. If Megxie and Hazza go up against President Donald Trump and try and sue him, again, as far as I'm concerned, that will be legal suicide. But, you know, Ingrid Stewart says, look, Hazza and Megxie operate from California, which is very democratic. And so President Trump's remarks calling her terrible would have had an extra sting. An intellectual property attorney also spoke to Radar Online saying, quote, it could be argued that his comments are harmful to their brand, but any litigation against Donald Trump would be horny to say the least. But saying that, I'm sure they're mulling over their response as they are not people just to back down in the presence of a perceived bully. They would have to, in a court of law, specifically highlight the way in which Donald Trump's comment of calling Megxie terrible had harmed their brand. In other words, all the other things that Megxie is being called, all the other conspiracy theories out there that doesn't do any good for Megxie whatsoever, right? They would have to argue in a court of law. None of that has harmed them, but this comment from Donald Trump has really, really harmed them. What? Nah, that would be an absolute uphill battle for them to single out and for them to be able to prove that Donald Trump's specific comment of calling Megxie terrible was the one that really hurt their brand. And they would have to argue that the rest of what's out there, including the Vanity Fair article, the Hollywood Reporter, the South Park episode, all that, they would have to argue none of that hurt their brand, but the Donald Trump thing did. And they would have to argue that successfully. Guess what? That, to me, is an impossible legal argument. because it can actually be proven that all of those other things that I've just mentioned has also hurt their brand as well. And Donald Trump calling Megxie terrible ain't the worst thing that's out there when it comes to Megxie and what she's being accused of being. Alleged yacht girl, anyone? I mean, come the frick on. And so, you know, we know that there has been a Megxie versus President Donald Trump thing in the past. I've done a whole episode on it in my Versus series, so do check that out. But we all know, and this is where this comment is coming from, President Donald Trump told the New York Post that he had no intention of kicking Prince Hazza out of the country, saying, "I don't want to do that. I'll leave him alone. He's got enough problems with his wife. She's terrible." Now, Hazza, in amongst all of this legal freaking madness, right, is apparently also considering suing Vanity Fair. And Hazza and Megxie are apparently discussing their options with their lawyers after apparently being deeply hurt by the Vanity Fair article that included accusations such as the most entitled and disingenuous people on the planet, floating rumours that Megxie was shopping around a post-divorce book, this, that, and the other. Okay. So they're looking at, they're considering suing Vanity Fair. What about the Hollywood Reporter? What about all the other publications that have levied accusations against them that have not been too kind for Megxie and Hazza? Interesting, right? It's interesting to see the publications that allegedly they're not considering suing. I wonder why. But going around full circle here, guys, if this is true, and if Megxie and Hazza do actually start legal action to sue President Donald Trump over his comment that Megxie is terrible, and to try and argue that that has harmed their brand and earning potential, that is total legal suicide. Because that ain't the worst thing out there that's being said of Megxie. If anything, it's the tamest thing that's out there that's being said of Megxie. That is for damn certain. They would have to argue that everything else out there against Megxie hasn't hurt their brand, but President Donald Trump's comment has. You what? That is an impossible legal argument as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think they'd be able to prove it in any way, shape, or form. That's why I said going against President Donald Trump in this manner would be legal suicide. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, believe me, of course, there's going to be more. You do not want to miss my next video. Then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. If Megxie has sued President Donald Trump, how big of a legal bloodbath do you think it would be for Megxie and Hazza? Do you think it would be legal suicide? Because I think it would. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, later.